You essentially pay more money with this system for cards you don't want. What a sick value proposition. Why do all Yu-Gi-Oh products suck now? Let's get into it.
Draw your last pathetic card so I can end this, Yugi.
My grandpa's deck has no pathetic cards, Kaiba. But it does contain the unstoppable
Dueling Wave. Hello all, welcome back to the channel. We're here with another banger of a video, another sick topic to discuss this game that we're all trapped by. But before we get into this, let's just real quick shout out the Discord. So, you like playing Yu-Gi-Oh, but you hate the meta. You hate the last 6 months of absolute degenerate bullcrap that you've been having to stomach through at your locals, regionals, etc, etc. Guess what? There is another option for you. Down below in the Discord, in the description, go join our Discord. We're a growing community. We're getting better. We're getting bigger. We're hosting our own tournaments. We've got our own ban list where we banned all the degenerate crap about Yu-Gi-Oh! Where now the game is actually fun, where you go into the game and it's back and forth and things can actually resolve and you can actually go back and forth and it's interactive and turn 5 can sometimes even be seen. Can you believe that? Turn 5? Are you hitting me right now? Where do I buy now? How much is it? $29.99, 6 payments? No, it's all free down below. Go to Discord, go join us, go play in the tournaments. It's a great time, so we'd love to have you. Anyway, let's get back into the video. I watched this video by the Monkey Fight TCG guy. I'm sure you guys have heard of him. And I found that he made some really good points. So once you're down here with this video, go check it out. It's gonna be linked in the description. It's a really good video. He makes good quality videos, so check it out. But Yu-Gi-Oh products are kind of garbage now in TCG, and it's been like that for a fat minute now. Let's get into why this is. First point, products are not a good perceived value. Recent sets like the Legacy of Destruction, Phantom Nightmare just have been a terrible value proposition. It feels like Konami tried to do a player base a solid by making like Tenpai all low rarity and Legacy of Destruction. What this deck tried to do, I'm assuming, is give the player base a budget option that could combat the top stuff like Snake Eyes, where you have somewhat of a chance of winning because of things like Shifter and blah 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 that exist in the game. And it also gives the player base a super easy deck so that newbies coming over from Master Duel or from Duel Links or whatever, just people picking up the game, which we've seen in recent years, can just pick up Tenpai. It's about 200 bucks all in, and you can actually compete in the meta, go to your tournaments and try to do well. The unfortunate problem is that the set had to be carried by Yugi's Shining Sarcophagus deck, which Konami decided to make just not good enough to be able to compete, right? It's like a solid rogue option, right? Maybe if Snake Eyes is hit, that deck could do something potentially, but currently the deck is just cheeks. It doesn't really do, it's okay, but it does have all of the secret rare slots, meaning that value-wise, those cards have to be valued well for this set to sell well. Just like in the previous set, Phantom Nightmare, we had a lot of the fire cards be ultra rares, like your Promethean Princess, Poplar, etc, etc. And we also thought this was hey, Konami doing a solid for the player base, like, yo, what's up, dog? Thank you, bro. I appreciate you guys for being good fans and buying Agov and stuff with $100 SP. Here's this option, right? So that's cool. That's nice to see. We're glad to see that. Unfortunately, it isn't the case that that's what actually ends up happening. Yes, for the players that are buying singles, it ends up being a solid option, right? You can spend like, eventually Princess and Poplar were super cheap. You could get them for like 20 bucks a pop. Poplar now is like 10 bucks. But a point that Monkey Fight brings up in his video that made a lot of sense was they changed the box structure from the OCG into the TCG. So the box structure looks something like there's way less cards, way less fluff in the OCG, where here they add on unnecessary fluff, unnecessary filler, and also charge us more for it, which dilutes the ratios, makes it very hard to be able to pull anything you really want. And so as a result, no box that you could ever buy will ever actually pay for itself, where it was like, oh yeah, that was a better move than to just buy the singles, right? Not at least since Agov. Meaning that the changes they make give us an objectively worse product in the TCG compared to the OCG, where a box is like 40 bucks or 40 bucks. This is a bigger problem, I believe, more than the actual ratios of like secrets, ultras, and whatnot. Like, yes, SP was made a secret and it was a super rare in the OCG. Sure, that is not the best, move. But what we've seen is when they don't do that, boxes tank in value. They suck, right? And so there's a fine balancing act that they have to play here. I think the bigger problem is like, hey, stop putting crappy filler, so then when we open up a box, we can actually get a bunch of decent stuff that we'd like. And so let's say you open up a box for 70, 80 bucks and you get $60 of value, you'll be kind of like, dang, that sucks. But overall, you'll still be like, cool, we made out okay. I got some extra cards. Like, I can probably start some archetypes that are like a little bit lower rarity, like in this last set in info, like gimmick puppets, whatnot. You won't be disappointed. Unfortunately, usually value gets coalesced into like high-end cards. When a set doesn't have those high-end cards, no box is worth opening. Therefore, no one buys boxes therefore stores suffer. You essentially pay more money with this system for cards you don't want. What a sick value proposition. But what about Info? Infinite Forbidden. It sold well. It did really well. It had the Fiendsmith cards in it, so obviously it was going to be in demand, but unfortunately, it's a engine that's super generic, super power creep, puts the game in a way worse position than it was before it released, broke pretty much 2 or 3 old cards, and that now will have to be probably banned because of this stupid engine being released. It's not even a functional deck on its own, at least in no real capacity. It's like better than a pure adventure was on release, but it's still, you know, who's going to run pure Fiendsmith? When it's so generic, you can just deck it into anything. But also, one of the reasons that this set sold well was because everyone needed that engine. It was released right before Nationals, which is a very scummy tactic done by Konami. Like, here, wow, look at how well this set sold when we accidentally released it right by Nationals time. Like, come on, this is a joke. Players needed these cards if they wanted to win, and so they were going to buy them, right? And that means the box will sell, the set will sell, and Konami will be like, wow, look how good we are, look at our, we're such a good company. It's just, it'll give them a false sense of hope, false sense of success, where the game is still in a bad spot, even post-info. Let's talk about another more devastating point. Konami is cutting their nose to spite their own face. They continue to shill out crap product where the value proposition for the purchase is extremely poor. This means that the stores are holding on to product. They're forced to buy it, buy all the bad product, because otherwise they'll miss out on that one good product Konami puts out a year, like an Aglov, like an Info, where they can actually make up and recoup making buku buck on that set. But unfortunately, this is starting to be less and less so the case, right? Who knows how well Info would have sold had it not been released right before Nationals, right? Agov sold well. Why is that? Because it pushed the game power creep wise 2 years, right? We got Horus Engine, basically a free graveyard setup engine for any deck, right? All of a sudden, decks could just pop out rank 8s on top of setting up their graveyard. Like, that's insanity. The Bellstar engine was ran in literally everything. It's Snake Eyes came out in that. All sorts of stuff. SP Little Knight, Typhon, like, come on, all of these cards. Yes, it pushed power creep to another level. It's why the set sold well. Yes, if they power creep the game like Power of the Elements, the set will sell well, of course, right? That's not the way we want to manage this game. And does that one set a year make up for all the other crappy sets that we have? Your Fire set, that one set with the Salamangreat support cards, your Legendary Duelists of the Deep, right? Those type of sets. Those sets are absolutely slaughtering local stores. We're talking about boxes that go for $70, $80, MSRP selling for $25. That is literally the price of 3 structure decks, actually less so. The stores have noticed and they've stopped selling. They've dropped Yu-Gi-Oh! They dropped the game entirely. Which means what? Say it with me. Slow decline of Yu-Gi-Oh! Let me know what you think in the comments. Am I onto something here? How bad of a problem is this really? Have your locals dropped Yu-Gi-Oh! This is how this is gonna go. It's gonna go like many people predicted. You have Konami dropping Cheeks product. Players don't buy said product, they buy singles. Stores have to put it up for sale, taking a loss, and they don't see the recoup on those losses with good product because they have too much bad product now. The bad to good outweighs it heavy. They hold out hope for that next Konami product to be nice, and it isn't. Nothing changes, and this continues. And before long, the stores go, well, you know, it's just not working out. I'm going to drop this product. So they drop the product because of lack of good product, lack of profitability, and lack of a good ban list to keep players engaged to come to their stores so they'll play the game and spend money. And guess what? They see the writing on the wall. They don't need Yu-Gi-Oh! They'll go with One Piece or some of these other games. Those locals just do fine. Players then drop the game because who the hell is going to be spending money on this cardboard addiction if you don't have people to play it with or against? And then boom, guess what? Death of your game. Konami relies on a lot of this BS of like yo-yoing the player base, essentially telling you like, if you don't like this format, hey, it's fine, just like hop out and come back in when it's more enjoyable. But it's getting to the point where I feel that people won't come back. We've been getting way too many tier 0 formats in recent years that just make everything else unplayable. And guess what? After you yo-yo people out for too long, you have to have that step in, step out mentality. So if you go, hey, okay, you step out for 3 months, come back for 9, that's a ratio where like, okay, that could work, right? A player then is like, well, I spent most of my year still playing cards while I spent only 3 months being away from it, playing like casual with my friends, where now as you have 6 months off, 6 months on, right? Because this tier 0 format has been for 6 months, and tier limits was, I believe, for like 6 months at its full power tier 0. So like we're starting to get these long tier 0 formats where people won't want to play. And what that ends up resulting in is people being out of the game more than they're in the game. And eventually just going, well, dude, I just can't keep up anymore. Too much product releases, too much stuff's going on. My deck that I just bought is power creeped already because of this new set that dropped and made this everything like 300% better. I just can't compete. A full power lab deck can't win. I don't even like lab. Lab is insane. How can that deck not win? They have options. Magic, Pokemon, One Piece, underwater basket weaving. All of those are better options than the Yu-Gi-Oh card game right now. So I know we've said this a million times in the Yu-Gi-Oh community so far, in the Yu-Gi Tuber community especially, but yes, this game will finally die, and it'll be all Konami's fault. You can't be this bad as a company and just put the ball in other people's court. Even the love that we have for this game has a finite level, and once that runs out, we'll move on to something else. Hell, if I wanted to go blow some money that I'll never get back just to see my friends for a little bit, I'll take those boys to the bar and we'll order drinks all night, and that'll be money way better spent than trying to chase these competitive formats that Konami thrusts on us every once in a while. Like, hey, go buy a homies a few rounds, go have fun. F that shiny card, you don't need it. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Guys, hope you enjoy the video. Comment, like, and subscribe. Check out this video, and as always, I'll see you as always. As always, always, bye.